Hi, my name is Jack Athwell. I'm the director of the new Outbreak movie, Zombie Project.
Explain your addition to the script, what you wrote, and did you like the process?
I did enjoy the process, yes. I found it quite fun to imagine what we were going to put onto camera, So going through the process of what's going to happen next, when it's going to happen, and how it's going to happen, that was the fun part of the project for me.
Explain how you thought of the reporter scene.
The reporter scene I thought was a good touch due to the fact that it adds a lot of comedy that I think we were lacking. I know horror movies don't really have comedy, but the genre we were looking for was mainly comedy and thriller. So to add comedy from a depressing, serious scene before it just makes it better and kind of fits in well. So
Group work. Did you find this easy or complicated?
the group work was quite easy. Everyone stuck to their job roles and managed to get all pre-production done quite quickly and got into filming. And during filming, it didn't take a lot of takes. Only a couple. I think our longest take scene was probably filming the anchor scene with Dwight Gibson as the anchor. So
Talking about the job role, did you find it easy to stick to them?
well, I was the director, so I found that quite fun, being the bossy one and trying to make a good film out of it. Also, the camera operator was great. I know it was probably a bit wonky, the final product, but it's something that we can work on for future projects. The same with the sound guy. The sound was a bit off in different scenes, but it was an overall good movie, I thought.
What forms did you complete in your pre-production? For example, the storyboard, crew list, and cast list.
So we completed the storyboard, crew list, and cast list, and we all took turns in that. So I done the we decided what crew we were gonna have, and we wrote down the roles that they would do. The same with the cast, who we were gonna have in the film, and the storyboard was mainly me. I was the one who put together the film and how I thought it would come to life. So yeah.
What were your influences, and how did they impact your planning and production? Did you enjoy?
So our influences was probably World War Z, a science scene that happened near enough to the end where the main character goes into a science lab that has a zombie in it that's blocking his way, so decides to inject himself with the virus but doesn't turn. I thought that was an interesting scene because it added story to the movie itself. I thought that we could do something like that, explain its origins happening in a science lab instead of just having a riot going on outside Niscot College.
About the production, did it keep the brief's expectations of time between 2 to 3 minutes?
Yes. At first, the final product was, I think, 2 minutes free, or something like that. And but then we added little scenes and funny takes that didn't make it into the final cut as our bloopers, and we also put that as the names of the cast were in the bloopers, so it makes it clear who they were and if you were interested in them.
Your job role, how was it decided that you took this specific role?
I wanted to be the director from the beginning since I joined this course, and I found it the most interesting role out of all of them because I feel like I want my vision to come to life, so I thought the director would be my way of proving that.
Did you ever swap roles during this production?
From times I helped out with the camera operator, and I also became an actor for a bit, playing as a zombie and a civilian attacked by a zombie.
Did you follow the script/storyboard?
These mostly yes. There were scenes that we had to cut out because due to production value.
Did you find the storyboard and script quite useful?
Yeah, I would say because it kind of built the story before we made it. Instead of just going in and making it up on the spot, we kind of knew what we were filming and how we were going to film it.
How did you find the filming process in general?
The filming process was quite straightforward, quite easy. As I said before, the takes were limited. It wasn't really a lot. As I said, the scene with the anchor took the most takes, but even that was around 10 takes.
What equipment did you use, and did you find it comfortable using it?
So we used a microphone to for the sound check and to make sure audio is more clear. We used a Nikon camera, not specifically, I'm not too sure, for the filming, and we also used tripod to keep the camera up. And yeah, that was really all we needed.
Did you film enough footage? Did you have to reshoot anything, and if so, why?
There was a scene that we had to reshoot because we may have forgotten about it, but ended up fitting in well. It was the scene where Dwight was, the anchor was attacked by 2 zombies running into the room, and yeah.
Moving on to post-production, how was the experience using Premiere Pro? Was it your first time, or have you tried it before?
Premiere Pro was my first time using it, and I found it straightforward and hard at the same time. There were parts that I found quite easy and parts that I found quite hard.
Explain the process of how you shared footage in your group.
So we decided to film, and we filmed with an SD card and used a separate SD card for the sound. Eventually, once all filming was wrapped up and the sound was all done, then we individually took the SD cards and downloaded it onto our computers and USB sticks and worked from there.
Did you change your rough edit? Did you get any feedback from staff or your peers?
My overall feedback so far was positive and negatives. There were a half and half. Peers and staff did enjoy it, but found there were plot holes and many things that could have been added to improve, but for the next project.
What are your thoughts on your final project? Do you think you could have done better or something like that?
I thought for our first project it was good, but for upcoming projects around the end of the year, I reckon that we could up the standards and make it a AAA sort of.
So in general, did you enjoy editing?
Yes, I found it quite fun, quite easy, and just relaxing.
Overall, what would you say were your strengths during this assignment?
I would say directing was probably my biggest strength because I didn't want anything to be left out that was bad. I listened to everyone's choices, what they wanted in the movie, and I took that in with a little twist and turn, but we still managed to put it in. And I thought it was a good take on how to direct and how to make a good movie.
Is there anything you would do differently for future projects?
Acting needs improvement.
Definitely.
Yes.
What have you learned? Ideally 2 points.
So I've learned how to use Premiere Pro, which is the software we use to edit our movie together, and also the sound and camera system that sort of counts as 2, but anyway, I found that quite straightforward to learn, quite fun. So yeah, thank you for watching. That's my vlog.